Hey there, how's it going? Vladimir Donis here. So hey, I wanted to jump online and do a quick video. And the title of this video is Network Marketing Sales Funnel. So essentially, I'm going to talk about two different types of sales funnel. I'm going to be talking about the first type of sales funnel, which is the big box. And I'm going to talk about the concept of the second sales funnel. But before I get into the actual content, let me go ahead and provide some context. I believe that every network marketer, every business owner needs to have a marketing plan. And the only way for them to have a marketing plan is to have a marketing roadmap, which is why for everything marketing, every time I work with someone, I work from a specific roadmap. Now, this roadmap has three core steps: reach, engage, and attract. Essentially, each core step has three prerequisites, and the prerequisite that I'm going to be pulling from today is the conversion process. So essentially, that is the step that I'm going to be pulling from today. Now, later this week, I'm hosting a free web class where I go a lot deeper as to how you can implement this specific roadmap into your business. And this web class is specific to network marketers. So if you're in network marketing and you want to know how to implement this exact formula into your business, there's going to be a web link. There's going to be a link somewhere on this page. Go ahead and use that link and register for the free web class. Now let's get into the actual content. Network marketing sales funnel. So essentially, my first introduction to a sales funnel was when I was taking a search engine optimization course. So some time ago, I was taking a search engine optimization course. And anytime I'm about to take a course as it relates to something that's going to help me to generate a lead online and then turn those leads into customers, I get very excited because I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm about to learn a specific skill set that's going to teach me to be just that much better as it relates to this whole internet marketing game. So I'm taking a specific course and I'm excited. We're going through the process. One of the first things that I learned is that the concept of having your own asset. So having your own asset, meaning that you have to have your own website. So for me, that was not an issue because I had my own website. So I'm excited there. And then it talked about the concept of, hey, you know what, before you start to kind of just go through the process, you need to understand keywords or key phrases that people are already searching for. So I'm saying to myself, okay, that makes sense. They showed us precisely how to go through the search process to understand that these are the keywords or the key phrases that people are searching for. So for me, that made sense as well. So item number 1 checked off, item number 2 checked off, and then item number 3, they talked about the concept of content, the concept of now that you know precisely what your audience is searching for, you have to go ahead and produce content. Specifically, you have to produce written content. Now, for me, that is not my favorite part. That's the part where I said, you know what, I'm not too excited about it because I do not like to write. That's not necessarily the thing that I like. However, I continued going through the process and I went through the actual course. So after the course was completed, it was time for me to go ahead and implement. Now, the one thing I was not excited about is the written part. I was not excited about the written part because, for one, I don't like to write, and for two, you had to write at least 1,000-word piece of content so that way people can find it, the Google and the search engines go ahead and give it quality, and people can go ahead and find that specific content. So I finished the course. Now it's time for me to implement. Now, I didn't implement right away. However, I was working on a different project, and in that project, I had to do a couple of different tasks. And then one day, I remember I was watching a video, and that video was talking about the concept of how do entrepreneurs survive with all of the tasks and everything that they have to do. They talked about the concept of using what I call freelancing or freelance type services. And those freelance type services, what they do is they take tasks away from entrepreneurs so that way we can be free and we can go ahead and work on certain type of tasks. So for me, I was working on a couple of tasks at that time, and I needed to go ahead and outsource a couple of things. So I went to the specific site to go and look for some different services. When I was looking on that specific site, one of the services they offered was they offered writing services. So I'm saying to myself, okay, these specific individuals offer writing services. I need writing services. Let me go ahead and look into this. So I looked into it, and I decided to go ahead and hire someone that was a writer so that way they can go ahead and write content for my specific website. So I hired this specific individual, provided him with the keywords and the key phrases, and then a week or so later he provided me with content. Now, when he provided me with the content, one of the things that I did is I used a service online, a web service online, and that web service would let me know if that individual plagiarized. So basically, I wanted to know if this individual took this content from another website and he just gave me duplicate content. So essentially, it turns out that this individual had given me content that was about 40 to 50% plagiarized. So I could not use that specific content for my website. So then I had two options. Option number 1, I said to myself, you know what, I can go ahead and do this myself. Or option number 2, I can go ahead and hire someone else. I decided to hire someone else. And the second person that I hired, that person was much better, and that person provided me with content. And the content that this person provided me with, now I did tell this individual ahead of time, I said, hey, there's a service that I use to let me know whether or not you're going to provide me with duplicate content or whether or not you're going to provide me with content that has been plagiarized. Please don't do this, because if you do, I'm not going to pay for your work, so on and so forth. So this individual did a great job, and he provided me with quality content. So all of a sudden I had quality content, and I was able to put that content on my website. So in that specific instance, I found the keyword, and after I found the keyword, I had a 1,000-word article, and then that was the beginning of what I call the sales process. And the reason why it was the beginning of a sales process or sales funnel is because I had content, and after every paragraph or so, I had what we call a call to action. And that call to action was an action box or call to action that drove people to the next step of the process. And the next step of the process was, hey, contact me if you need more, contact me so that way we can discuss my services, so on and so forth. So that was the first step, or that was my first version of a sales funnel. The good thing is that I had everything up and running. The bad thing is that this was search engine optimization, and it took months for people to go ahead and find this specific content and for them to go through the sales process. Now, at some point, I wanted to go ahead and speed things up. Specifically, I was hosting these local workshops, and I was working with people that, from a speed standpoint, they wanted to create and develop a sales funnel a lot faster. They didn't have months to wait for people to find their content and go through the sales process. So essentially, for you, if you want to go through the sales process, if you want to create a sales funnel much quicker, this is what you need to do. So essentially, the same type of content that you would have put via search engine, the same type of content you would have put on your website, you go ahead and take that content that's useful, content that's helpful, you go ahead and put that content on, say, social media. So essentially, for example, one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm doing a video. I'm doing this video via social media. The reason I'm doing this video via social media, what's going to happen is that people are going to be able to find this content a lot faster. And then once people find this content, they can go ahead and go to the next step of the process. So I remember I was working with someone, and that individual said, hey, you know what, speed. I want to go ahead and create a sales funnel much faster. So what I told this individual to do was, hey, create content, put the content that's useful and content that's going to help your specific audience, and then take that content, and then at the end of the content, have a call to action to take people through your sales process. So essentially, that's what you need to do, because a sales funnel essentially is you providing content, and then after you provide content, people see your ad, and then you take people to the next step of the process. So those are the two ways that you can go ahead and create a sales funnel. If you want to create things very quickly, you can go ahead and pay for, you can go ahead and pay ad. You can do paid ads as well, because if you do paid ads, you can go ahead and find your content very quickly. As an example, this specific video, I can decide to go ahead and drive and pay Facebook or pay Google to go ahead and show this specific video to as many people as possible. And when people see that specific video, they can go ahead and move to the next step of the process a lot faster, as opposed to writing content and then waiting months and months for people to find that specific content, so that way they can go ahead and go through this specific sales process. So if you want the long route, that's the long route. And if you want the fast route, this is the option for the sales route. One of the things that I'm doing later this week is that I'm hosting a free web class. Now, the web class has two specific goals. Goal number one, it is specific to network marketing. Goal number one is it's going to show you how to generate the lead online. And then goal number two is going to show you how to take that lead and turn that lead into a customer. There's going to be a link somewhere on this page, and a link is going to allow you to register for the free web class. And the web class is specific to network marketing. Now, if you're not in network marketing, but you need marketing help, I can become your marketing guy. And if I become your marketing guy, we're going to make sure that from a roadmap standpoint that we have this specific roadmap, and this roadmap is part of your marketing plan. So that way we're not necessarily guessing, and we know precisely how to go from step A to step Z as it relates to marketing. Now, there's going to be a separate link on this page, and that link is going to allow you to go ahead and request additional information. I'll go ahead and send you the information, and we will talk about what the next steps are. Hey, that's my time. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you soon.